This is the story of a jealous, a hidden crime, and two best friends who lost their lives too soon.
Before we start this very shocking tale, please press the subscribe button and turn on the bell so you never miss any of our videos. If you are already subscribed, thank you so much. Your support means everything to us. Now, let us begin. Very early in the morning, on May 26, 2018, a worker at a boarding school dormitory found the body of 17-year-old Sherelle Hogg. She was hanging in the stairwell of the girls' building. Just minutes later, the police found her best friend, Marna Engelbrecht, also dead. At first, everyone thought it was a very sad double suicide. But then, small, strange things at the scene made the investigators feel worried. What looked like a terrible loss soon became a big mystery full of hidden secrets, stress, and scary threats. What do you think happened? Was it really suicide, or was it murder? Who would want these two girls to die? Please write your thoughts in the comments below, and keep watching to learn the shocking truth. Sherelle Hogg grew up on a farm in Delville, a small town in the northwest province of South Africa. She lived with her dad, Ronnie, her stepmom, Anna, and Anna's son, Eston. Sherelle thought of Eston like her own brother. Her real parents split up when she was little, but they stayed friendly with each other. Her dad raised cows on the farm. Her mom, Sonia, worked at a tourist lodge not too far away. Before she went to Stella boarding school, Sherelle spent 3 weeks at her dad's house and 1 week at her mom's house. After she started living at the boarding school, she did not visit her mom as much. Around the same time, she suddenly became close again with her old childhood friend, Marna Engelbrecht. The two girls had been best friends since they were in kindergarten. But they grew apart when Sherelle moved to a different place. Going to Stella boarding school brought them together once more. Marna's mom, Reignited, had even played beautiful music at Sherelle's parents' wedding many years before. Both families lived in the northwest province, a quiet countryside area full of open fields, savannas, and big farms. Most people there, including the Hogg and Engelbrecht families, were farmers whose families came from European settlers long ago in the 1600s. Even though the old ways had changed over time, their shared history kept them close to the land and to each other. 8 years after they lost touch, Sherelle and Marna met again as classmates in grade 8 at Stella School. For Sherelle, living far away at boarding school meant she had to be more independent instead of staying with her family every day. Their friendship came back very strong and very fast. Sadly, they had no idea that this happy reunion would soon turn into something terrible. Because her dad was always busy with the farm and her mom lived far away, Sherelle's parents were not around her every day anymore. At boarding school, being close to Marna became the most important thing that made her feel safe and happy. In March 2017, Sherelle met Xanderan. He was an 18-year-old boy who had already finished school at Stella. He had a strong, sporty body, dark hair, and bright green eyes. Even though he had graduated, Xander still came to places near the school a lot. His family life was hard. His parents, Monty and Mercia, divorced when he was small. He lived most of the time on his dad's farm, which was about 50 miles from the school. Sometimes he visited his mom, but they were not very close. If you're enjoying this story, kindly do us a favor and subscribe to our channel. It is free and won't cost anything, but it means the world to us. We're just a small channel trying to grow. Thank you, and back to the video. Before Xander came into her life, Sherelle spent almost all her time with Marna. They both loved animals very much and enjoyed riding horses together. Sherelle also had a big dream to become a photographer one day. Her dad thought she could be a model because she was pretty. Marna was a calm, smart girl who was very good at math and science. She wanted to become a veterinarian, a doctor for animals. She lived near the town of Rieberg with her dad Stefan, who was a well-known person who worked with drilling machines. He liked to call her Marna Thinker because she always thought deeply. Her mom, Reignited, worked as a caregiver who helped people. Marna had an older sister named Ryan, and their family was very close and loving. The two girls shared the same dorm room at school. They spent almost every weekend together. Sometimes they stayed at each other's homes. Sherelle's dad treated Marna like his own daughter. Both families liked each other and got along well. But even though everything looked happy and peaceful on the outside, problems were starting to grow underneath. Xander looked confident from far away, but he had a difficult past. His parents' divorce and very strict rules at home shaped him in hard ways. His dad, Monty, used to be a police officer. He raised Xander with strong discipline. He taught him how to hunt and how to survive outdoors. Xander was really good at rugby, but he also had a quick temper. He often got into fights with other students and even with teachers. His mom had a hard time having a baby, so she was very protective. She always stood up for him and said his angry actions were just him being himself. After he finished school, Xander decided not to go to college. Instead, he worked on his dad's farm. He did not share much on social media. When he did post, it was mostly pictures of guns and animals he hunted. These posts showed what he liked to do in his free time. Even though he stayed private, his good looks and charm made many young girls notice him. It was at a special school event that Sherelle first saw Xander. Old students, including him, came back to meet the current students. They talked for only a short time, but they both felt attracted to each other right away. Soon, they started spending more time together. Sherelle was in her last year of high school. She liked Xander's confidence, his strong body, and the way he made her feel special. Their relationship grew very fast. In the first weeks, Xander gave her lots of attention. He did many sweet things to make her smile. He seemed kind and loving. When it was time to meet her family, Xander really wanted to make a good impression. The first meeting with Sherelle's dad, Ronnie, went better than expected. At first, Ronnie was careful, but he started to like Xander when they talked about farming. Xander even offered to help with some work on the farm. That kind action made Ronnie trust him more. Those early days felt nice, but deeper down, darker things were hiding. Even though everything looked calm at first, Xander's true personality started to show small warning signs. He had a very hot temper and did not like to give in during arguments. These things had caused trouble for him before. It was only a matter of time before those same problems started to hurt his relationship with Sherelle. Marna was the first person to notice that something was changing with her best friend. The girl who used to be so close and open suddenly became distant. Sherelle started avoiding Marna and their other friends. She made excuses, saying she was too busy or too tired to hang out. At first, the changes were tiny, but as months went by, they became very clear. Marna felt sure that Xander was the reason for the distance. She asked Sherelle gently what was wrong. Sherelle always said everything was okay, but deep inside, she was not okay. The changes really started when Xander became part of Sherelle's group of friends. At first, his actions seemed sweet. He asked who she was talking to and what she was doing. Sherelle thought this showed he cared. But slowly, he wanted to see her phone, her social media accounts, and all her messages. Sherelle let him look because she believed his jealousy meant he loved her deeply. The worst moment came when they were getting ready for prom. Sherelle and her mom went shopping for a beautiful dress. What should have been a fun day turned bad, because Xander wanted to control everything. He said he had to approve the dress. He told her to wear very little makeup. He even decided how she should do her hair. To stop any fight, Sherelle did what he wanted. Later, she told a few close friends that she felt strange and uncomfortable. But she did not understand how serious the problem really was. Xander's controlling ways got worse and worse. He started to keep her away from her friends. He openly said he did not like certain people and called them bad influences. If Sherelle spent time with anyone else, he wanted to know every single detail. To avoid more arguments, she pulled away from almost everyone, even from Marna, her very best friend. Marna tried many times to warn Sherelle. She told her that Xander's actions were not normal or healthy. But Sherelle kept saying it was just how he was. She believed he would get better with time. Instead of getting better, Xander became more aggressive. Even when they had dinner with his family, Sherelle felt him watching everything she said and did. Over time, her family and friends saw that her happy personality was fading. She became very quiet and stayed inside herself more. They thought it was only because of school pressure. They did not know the real reason. If you're enjoying this story, kindly do us a favor and subscribe to our channel. It is free and won't cost anything, but it means the world to us. We're just a small channel trying to grow. Thank you, and back to the video. Only Marna could see the real danger. She never stopped trying to help her friend. In January 2018, Sherelle could not take it anymore. Xander's hold on her life had become tight and painful. What started as small check-ins and light jealousy turned into great anger and control. He looked at every text she sent. He watched her social media all the time. He decided who she could be friends with. Their fights were loud and scary. Sometimes his anger made him act in ways that left marks. After one big fight, faint bruises appeared on Sherelle's arms. This made Marna very worried. For many months, Sherelle's family and friends had watched her change. But the bruises were the final sign that things were truly dangerous. Marna begged Sherelle to do something. At last, Sherelle found the strength to break up with Xander. That choice started a very scary chain of events that nobody expected. After the breakup, Xander became extremely angry. He sent Sherelle message after message. He said he would hurt himself if she did not come back. He tried to make her feel guilty. He begged her to take him back. She did not answer his threats. She refused to go back to him. Sherelle was finished with that painful relationship forever. Around this same time, Marna got pulled into the trouble too. Xander blamed Marna for helping Sherelle decide to leave him. He began sending Marna mean and frightening messages. Marna felt scared. She told her dad, Stefan, everything that was happening. Stefan acted fast. He called Xander and told him very clearly to stop bothering the girls. For a short time, things became quieter. But Xander's anger never really went away. A few months after the breakup, Sherelle started spending more time with Brandon Victor. He was an old friend she had known since she was 14 years old. Brandon was kind, popular, and very good at sports. He listened to Sherelle when she talked about her problems. He helped her feel safe again, while Xander was still causing trouble. Slowly, Sherelle and Brandon grew closer. They started dating, but they kept it very secret. They did not want Xander to find out, because he was still dangerously fixed on Sherelle. Xander refused to believe that Sherelle had moved on. He kept chasing her. He showed up suddenly in places she liked to go. He sent her messages all the time. Sherelle and Brandon felt nervous all the time. They avoided busy places where Xander might see them. They tried to keep their relationship quiet so nothing bad would happen. By May 2018, the pressure had become too much. Even though Sherelle tried to live a normal life again, Xander kept interfering. He would not accept that they were finished. He tried hard to stay in her world. This made everything feel unsafe and tense for Sherelle and the people around her. Something had to change soon. But as things got worse, time was running out. Early on the morning of May 26, 2018, the boarding school dormitory felt strangely quiet. Christelle, one of the staff members, began her morning checks at 6 o'clock. She walked through the empty hallways to wake up the students. Near the bathroom door, she saw small clumps of dark hair on the floor. She thought it was just hair from a girl getting ready. Nothing special. But when she walked closer to the staircase that went down to the ground floor, she saw a tight green rope tied to the railing. Then she looked up. She froze. She saw white socks hanging in the air. It was Sherelle. Just a few hours earlier, around 4:17 in the morning, Sonia, Sherelle's mom, woke up in her own home. She had a scary message from her daughter. The message said, "Mom, I just wanted to say, I love you and I'm sorry." Sonia noticed the word sorry was spelled wrong. Sherelle never made spelling mistakes like that. Sonia felt panic. She called her daughter right away, but the phone just rang and rang. No answer. Very worried, Sonia phoned her ex-husband Ronnie. He had been sleeping. He said everything seemed normal the night before. But he checked his own phone anyway. When he looked at Sherelle's messages from the night, two of them made his heart cold. One message, sent at 3:42 a.m., had a photo of Sherelle wearing special underwear. The words with the photo said, "I love you, Brandon." The next message, sent at 4:17 a.m., said, "Dad, I'm sorry, Marna and I are leaving." Those words felt wrong and scary. Ronnie felt deep fear for his daughter. He quickly called the school principal, Richard Hobson, and told him he was very worried. At the same time, Christelle ran upstairs to Sherelle and Marna's room. The room was empty. Their things were neat, like they had planned to wake up normally. There was no mess, no sign of struggle. Christelle felt sick. This was not an accident. Someone had planned it. She ran back to the stairwell. Her heart was beating very fast. Panic started to spread. Brandon Victor, Sherelle's boyfriend, had also received a strange message late at night. The words did not sound like Sherelle. When he tried to call her, she did not answer. A bad feeling grew inside him. He knew something terrible had happened. What should have been a normal morning full of excitement for a rugby game turned into fear and sadness. Whispers about something awful spread among the students. By the time Ronnie and Sonia arrived at the school, desperate for answers, the whole place felt heavy with worry and confusion. That same morning, Principal Richard Hobson got a terrible phone call from Christelle. Her voice shook as she told him she found Sherelle hanging in the stairwell. Hobson asked for more details, but the call dropped. Christelle had run to get help. Soon after, Ronnie got the awful news from the principal. Both Sherelle and Marna were gone. Full of sadness and needing to understand, Ronnie asked his brother Louis to drive him to the school. During the long, painful drive, he kept thinking about Sherelle's last strange messages. He tried to find meaning in the terrible thing that happened. At the school, Hobson and the teachers worked hard to keep the students away from the sad sight. When the police came that morning, they found two bodies. Sherelle was hanging from the stairwell railing. Marna was in a bathroom on the first floor. A strap from her backpack was tied around her neck. At first, the police thought it was a double suicide. But then they looked closer. The marks on the girls' necks did not look like normal marks from hanging themselves. This made them think maybe someone else was involved. While the officers checked everything carefully, Ronnie pushed into the building. He wanted so badly to see his daughter. The police told him to stop because he might ruin important clues, but his sadness was too big. Only when his brother Louis helped calm him down was Sherelle's body gently taken down. If you're enjoying this story, kindly do us a favor and subscribe to our channel. It is free and won't cost anything, but it means the world to us. We're just a small channel trying to grow. Thank you, and back to the video. Nearby, Marna's dad, Stefan, saw his daughter. He became very angry. He shouted that this was not suicide. He pointed at Xander, Sherelle's ex-boyfriend, and said, "He did this." In all the chaos, one big question hung in the air. What really happened that night? The school principal, Hobson, asked for help from a private investigator named Chris Sanderser. Chris was an experienced man who had worked with the school before. He came quickly and started asking questions. One of the first people he spoke to was Brandon Victor. Brandon told him about the strange messages he got from Sherelle that night. He also explained how Xander was dangerously obsessed with Sherelle. He said Xander had made threats after the breakup. The investigators found more and more signs that someone else had been there. They looked closely at the green rope from the stairs and the backpack strap. They checked for fingerprints and other clues to understand what happened. Many students talked about Xander. His name came up again and again. He became the main person they suspected. Marna's dad, Stefan, felt angry that the police were moving too slowly. Without waiting for rules, he went straight to Xander's house. He demanded answers. This was a risky thing to do. It could have made the case harder. A few nights before everything happened, Sherelle, Marna, and Brandon were together in the girls' dorm room. Brandon had sneaked in, even though boys were not allowed. He wanted to comfort Sherelle because she was scared of Xander's mean messages. They drank coffee and talked. Sherelle felt very nervous as the night went on. At 1 o'clock in the morning, Xander called. Sherelle put the phone on speaker so Brandon and Marna could hear. At first, Xander spoke nicely. He asked her to come outside and meet him. When she said no, his voice changed. It became full of anger. He made scary threats. Then he said, "You'll regret what I do tonight." Sherelle was shaking. Brandon wanted to stay with her, but she told him to go back to his room. She was afraid he would get in trouble if someone found him there. By 2 o'clock, the dorm became very quiet. That quiet would soon be broken forever. Brandon left. That was the last time he saw the girls alive. On the morning of May 26th, after hearing that Sherelle and Marna were dead, Marna's dad, Stefan, drove straight to Xander's farm. He was full of sadness and anger. He faced Xander and Xander's dad, Monty. He accused Xander of hurting the girls. The argument grew loud. Then, private investigator Chris Sanders arrived. He stayed calm. He told Stefan to stop and relax. He asked Xander to come with him to the police station. During the drive, Chris asked Xander many careful questions. Finally, Xander broke. He admitted that he killed Sherelle because he was jealous. He also killed Marna because she saw what happened and could tell others. Chris recorded the confession on a small voice recorder. At the crime scene, the police found clear signs that it was not suicide. The girl's injuries and the way the scene looked pointed to murder. Xander's confession made it even clearer. When the police questioned him officially, Xander explained that he planned everything carefully. He wanted it to look like the girls killed themselves. He told how he sneaked into the dorm and committed the terrible acts. Later, the police found more proof of how obsessed he was. There were hundreds of texts, photos, and notes on his phone that showed his dangerous thoughts. During the trial, everyone learned more about why Xander did it. One important witness was Anastasia Fesser. She knew Xander from a fishing event. She told the court about a phone call she got from him the day before the murders. In that call, he was very angry. He said, "I won't let Sherelle live without me." He promised to make her life terrible. Anastasia thought he was just upset and talking too much. She did not tell anyone. Looking back, she felt very sorry. She wished she had warned Sherelle, Marna, or the police. Her words in court became very important. They showed that Xander planned to hurt Sherelle because of his jealousy. Brandon Victor also gave strong evidence at the trial. He remembered the night of May 24, 2018. He had secretly gone to the girls' dorm to help Sherelle and Marna feel better. They talked, laughed, and tried to forget their worries for a little while. But then Xander called. Sherelle put the phone on speaker again. Xander first spoke softly. He asked her to meet him. When she said no, he became angry. He said, "You'll regret this." After the call ended, Sherelle was shaking. She told Brandon to leave quickly so he would not get caught. That was their last goodbye. The next morning, the police found the girls. The investigation started, and it led straight to Xander. In court, Xander's lawyers tried to say the confession was forced and not real, but the judge and everyone saw there was too much proof. The voice recording from Chris Sanders was clear. Xander spoke freely and admitted what he did. Experts explained that Xander was a very troubled young man. His jealousy, his need to control everything, and his growing anger after the breakup pushed him to commit murder. People also looked at Xander's family. His mom, Marcia, had always protected him too much. Even after the crime, she said his actions came from love that was misunderstood. But his dad, Monty, who used to be a police officer, spoke differently. He said there was no excuse. His son had to face what he did. In the end, Xander was given 2 life sentences in prison, 1 for each girl. For the families of Sherelle and Marna, the pain never fully goes away. Even though the court decided, some family members of Xander later said the decision was wrong. But the most important truth stays the same. 2 best friends who loved each other so much in life are now together in death. This sad story makes us think about hidden dangers that can hide in relationships. It shows us obsessions that people miss. It reminds us of threats we sometimes ignore. It asks hard questions. How does the way someone is raised shape them into a person who hurts others? Can painful feelings from the past, if never fixed, lead to violence? Thank you so much for watching until the end. If this story touched your heart, please help us share it. Like the video, write a comment, and subscribe to our channel. Together, we can shine light on the darkest stories. We remember the victims and ask for real justice. Until our next story, please stay careful and stay safe.